I take a bunch of like health supplements, I guess. I used to take pretty much like as much as like I would see for me, like I would just listen to people that I follow, and like I kind of got stuck in a trap too. Like I would just like listen to like, oh, this is a great supplement. This is a great supplement. I want to do this. I want to do this. And I would just buy like 40 different like health supplement products just to try to be like, but I realized like this is like very counterproductive. Like, why am I doing this? I have a very nutrient dense diet. Like I don't need like 40 like mineral supplements to like help me with like my longevity package, whatever. But I kind of like cut it in half now. Basically just sticking to what personally like I want to improve or what I need to improve. So it's just a matter of like maybe like getting consistent blood work too to see what like mineral deficiencies you might have, whatever like health related issues you might want to like, you know, help through supplementation.
Just to interject one part there that you mentioned with the labs, I think that's important. A lot of people don't appreciate the importance of labs, and even when they do maybe their annual or they don't do it, and they get the basic lab work of, I don't know, like a 2-page document, not going into tons of detail. They don't know their potassium levels, or maybe they do, or the magnesium levels, or some may not even tell them vitamin D levels. You might suit them to find a place that can give more comprehensive labs, and it might be covered by insurance or might not be. Maybe they have to spend, I don't know, $100 and something or $200 to get something. But if you don't know, you may be doing everything right or 99%, and there's this one thing you don't realize. Oh, I'm deficient in this thing, whether it's your genetics or your diet or what have you, but you just don't know, and because you don't know, you can't address it.
Yeah, what you don't know doesn't get measured, or what doesn't get measured doesn't get fixed. So definitely important to get some blood work done, and a comprehensive one at that. I'm part of like a hormone clinic basically, which is like I'm not so like I basically just get you know, consistent blood work and labs done for them. I'm not on any exogenous hormones, for like disclaimer.
You're too young for that.
But there are very knowledgeable people that help you like through like assess, like go through your labs, as opposed to like some random you know, doctor that might not know really anything about, you know, lab work. And I found that like, you know, typically if I were to get like labs done with a doctor, I typically would know more than them. So like, why am I doing this? I mean, the only thing is just like insurance might cover it more. But, but yeah, definitely getting consistent labs is important. Make sure, like, I would try to fight them on getting like the right ones. Typically they want. Typically they might not want to like get like certain labs, like a full like thyroid panel, for instance, or like usually they'll just test for like, you know, T4 and TSH, which really isn't telling you anything, because T3 is kind of like the driver and actually moving like thyroid hormone and like actually like driving like your metabolic function. So or like reverse T3 is like your storage thyroid hormone. So like if your T4 is getting moved to reverse T3 and not actually to T3, then, you know, there's an issue there. And if you're not measuring that, you're not really seeing. Or like inflammation markers. You know, I don't remember any doctor like testing for my inflammation. So that's obviously like a huge factor that most doctors don't test for. So if like
they don't.
If your lipid panel is like, if you're having high cholesterol, like high LDL, and you're, you know, typically the doctors will see like a high LDL and like freak out, like, oh my God. But if your inflammation is low, your blood glucose is low, your low triglycerides, higher middle HDL, you honestly have nothing to worry about. In my opinion, I think there are some people that might fight me on that, but that's definitely, you know, some doctors might not know any of these things. So it's important to go to people that actually like are reputable and know what they're talking about at the end of the day. So
I agree with that. I find it useful if you can see doctors that kind of the ones you've described as well, that are used to doing very comprehensive lab work. So they're used to looking at not 2 pages of data, but 10, 12 pages of data, or they're working with athletes, or whether they're professional athletes, semi-pro or what have you, people who are very active, who don't just want to be within range. They're trying to optimize things and so on and so forth.
In range doesn't necessarily mean optimal. Like people could be feeling terrible, and doctor will be like, "Oh, you're in range. I don't know what you're talking about." You know? So that's why, I kind of stay away from getting a blood panels from just a normal doctor. In terms of like health supplements, or like minerals, in terms of minerals, I would take I take minerals kind of basically that are very hard to get through the diet. So things like boron, I take magnesium.
Yep, me too.
Both very good. And chromium. So I take, like I said before, I go to the sauna like 2 or 3 days a week. And these are minerals that very like get depleted through your sweat. So if you're not replenishing these minerals after a sauna, then you're gonna come like lead or go into some issues because you're gonna become deficient. Boron, chromium, magnesium. I wouldn't supplement with iodine, even though you might lose that through sweat too, just because iodine is kind of tricky. If you over supplement with it, you might actually damage your thyroid. So I would be careful with that. It's better to get through the diet. So things like egg yolks, seaweed,
shrimp.
Yeah, shrimp. I'm trying to think what else. I don't supplement with iodine. So I named those 3. I take vitamin D, not all the time. I'm usually good with sitting outside and getting enough vitamin D, but I do sometimes take vitamin D. And I match that, or I take it with K2 to avoid the calcification of it. So that's good. Usually days that I don't take or I don't eat liver, I'll take like a desiccated liver supplement. There's one good supplement through Ancestral Supplements. They have good like a beef organ complex and some other ones.
I'll put that. Where do you get that?
Yeah, they have a website, just Ancestral Supplements. You can also get it on Amazon.
I'll put that in the show notes as well. Okay.
Yeah, that's a great one. I also take their thyroid complex. That's just desiccated like thyroid, like a glandular thyroid. Just because last time I got my blood panel, my thyroid is just a little sluggish. And since then, I've tried to like up my intake on carbs, which can help the thyroid. What else am I taking? I'm taking Spirulina Chlorella, which are both like very good for detoxification. There's like a blue-green algae. You could take that in like a powder form or a pill form. Maybe I'll take NAC, which is like a precursor to like glutathione. It helps your body create glutathione, which is like your body's natural antioxidant. I take NMN, is a precursor to NAD, which helps with like anti-aging. I mix a lot of things in my smoothie in the morning. Actually, I mix I don't know if you want to call it a supplement or not, but I mix like maca powder. It's supposed to be good for like balancing
I remember
hormones.
you told me about that.
Yeah, I take that, or I mix it with my smoothie. I use a mushroom complex powder, which is basically like lion's mane, reishi, chaga, turkey tail, a whole bunch of like medicinal mushrooms that are supposed to be like very, very helpful for myriad of different functions in the body. So I can sit here all day and list all the benefits, but it's very good. I would suggest anyone listening to look into some additional mushrooms like lion's mane, chaga, reishi are 2 of my favorite. I usually get them like in individual like powders, pretty much all the big ones.
Okay. And I'll put all of these in the show notes. I guess I will type up all the things you said and double check with you which ones you take and put links.
I can send over some good brands I think are good. There's some fruits that you can get away with maybe not buying organic if you might not want to spend much more money to buy organic, so maybe like avocados or something that is like like sealed
thick skin.
Like has like a thick skin, so like it's more resilient to like when they spray with like pesticides, herbicides. Like glyphosate is like a huge problem in the US, so you definitely want to avoid that. So there are foods that are like more prone to like getting or higher in glyphosate, like oats, for instance, which is another thing I put in my morning smoothie. So I definitely make sure that's organic as much as possible, honestly, just to avoid like the heavy metal toxicity and glyphosate exposure as much as I can.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, all very practical things. What is helping with you said fitness or your health in general.
Yeah.
So you definitely dropped a lot of knowledge here today. Super duper useful. I'll be rewatching this because there are a couple of things I didn't know about. For example, that protein shake, I'm going to look into. It was Levels, right? I believe the grass-fed one.
Levels. Personally, I like the vanilla. The vanilla flavor is probably my favorite.
I find with protein shakes, I always tell people, when you're trying a flavor, try vanilla first. It seems like that's the safest flavor. Yes.
Yeah.